What is up, YouTube? My name is Justin French, covering music for those who care, and I have another album review to do, and that would be the new Marilyn Manson album, Satan. It's not called Satan. Heaven upside down. Okay. New Marilyn Manson album, Heaven Upside Down. So, let me not waste any time into this review. Besides getting impersonated by Nicolas Cage and releasing The Pale Emperor, which was kind of different, kind of brought more of this bluesy element into Manson's career. Manson kind of returns with the big 90s sound that he was known for on this album. A few days, actually, about a week or a few days before this album was actually released, Manson was performing on stage, and all of a sudden a stage prop crushed him. So, Mr. Manson, if you're watching this video, I wish you a speedy recovery. Hope you're doing okay. Let me get into some of the music. So, what kind of music does this album have? Because it's very diverse in places. Like, you definitely get the 90s feel from like Antichrist, Superstar, and Mechanical Animals, and tracks like the opening track, Revelation number 12, which kind of kicks off with these punchy guitars, these punchy guitar riffs, and whenever Manson starts singing, it just, you can feel the punch, basically. And then you got tracks like the first single from this album, We Know Where You Fucking Live, which kind of feature this kind of, you know, more political side, as Marilyn Manson wasn't going for Donald Trump in the election, and actually even made a video of him decapitating President Trump's head. Not literally, but I mean, there's, it was a replica. And Manson is known for that kind of shock value factor. He's he's kind of more of this kind of shock rock artist. But there's also kind of the bluesy element that is added into this album with tracks like Kill For Me, which is the second single from this album, and the one that's charting right now, actually, surprising enough. And then you got other tracks like towards the end of the album, Heaven Upside Down and Threats of Romance. And Threats of Romance is a very weird track to end this album on, just because it feels, it's weird. It feels more like kind of this Queens of the Stone Age type vibe in the song, and it kind of adds this piano part to it, which is okay. It's not one of my standout favorites. It is really weird to listen to, especially towards the end of the album. So, but Tattooed in Reverse and Satan, not Satan, Satan, like Satan. They kind of feature these more of an electronic kind of feel, like a trap, almost like trap drum beats, basically, and mostly electronics running through the background of the song. And it's kind of weird. There's one track on here that's probably my favorite and is the longest song off of this album, which is almost 8 minutes long, and that's Saturnalia. This album was dedicated to Marilyn Manson's father, who died actually I think July 7th. So during the recording, or maybe after this album was recorded, his father had passed away. So, and he was going to release the album Satan, which was this album, on Valentine's Day, but he was very dissatisfied with the final product. So he went back and, you know, fixed up certain parts to this album, and actually added, I think, 3 songs into this album. And Saturnalia is basically a grace from God, because I really dig the track. And the lyrical themes to the song, it kind of brings this kind of sci-fi musically, it brings more of this kind of science fiction-ish kind of vibe in the music department, and the lyrics definitely detail some of Manson's thoughts whenever his father had died, and even talks about, you know, gods. And little fun fact, everyone says that Marilyn Manson is a Satanist. He's actually an atheist. The more you know. Anyways, one of my standout favorite lyrics comes from the track Blood Honey, which is another favorite of mine, where he's going in the chorus, he's saying, "I'm not being mean, I'm just being me." And then Satan features a weird kind of thing. What was it? It was Cocaine and Abel. I don't baptize whores. Something like that. And then there was another part to it. I totally forgot what it was. But that one was kind of did bring the religious kind of value into this album. So, and there are some biblical references in this album, as you know, Manson is not like a Christian or specifically a Satanist as everyone thinks he is. Yeah, I think that overall, the band had put out a very fantastic album. I think this definitely does remind me of the 90s more than the previous albums that have come before it with Pale Emperor and some parts of Born Villain. So I think this is kind of a return to form. I really dig this track, or this album actually, as a whole. So for my rating of this album, I think I got to give it an 8 out of 10. Actually, 8.5 out of 10. So yeah. Alright, so thank you all for watching this video. Click down here is where you can subscribe to my channel. Get updates as to what I'm doing next, reviews or anything, basically. And right here is where you can check out my previous video. Hi! You can check out my previous video that I uploaded. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I hope to catch you all later.